11.5 and wear size 12 shoes do not like to be called big. We prefer the statelier tall. My friend Condi Rice says it's like sweating. Ladies do not sweat, especially if you grew up as she did in Birmingham, Alabama. Southern women only perspire. Tall people in back, the president says to me during the group photograph at last year's senior staff Christmas dinner, winking to show he got it. He remembers. I have a very normal family, a teenage son who thinks that I am totally annoying, especially when I ask intrusive questions, like how was your day? I have a husband who puts up with us all and only occasionally gets irritated when I ask him for the third time that day whether he loves me, then refuse to be satisfied when he tells me yes, but it's hard. It's not that hard, I protest. Not too hard, he replies agreeably, which of course is not the answer I want to hear. I have a grown daughter, Lee, who is a licensed vocational nurse. For the sake of complete accuracy, I should say Lee is my stepdaughter. But my husband had custody of her, and we met when she was 7 and married when she was 9. She lived with us, and I nursed her through chicken pox. Besides, creating categories of children in a family always struck me as wrong, so I call her my daughter. And we have a daring and darling 8-year-old granddaughter, Lauren, who has inherited a strong will and streak of independence from all sides of our family. We have an orange and white cat, Griffey, the only cat our family has ever had that actually comes when he is called. He would be an almost perfect pet, which my husband defines as not requiring much in the way of service, except for a terrible habit of getting sick only on the carpet instead of the tile floor, even if the tile floor is closer, and he has to go to another room in mid-cough to find some soft, lovely, hard-to-clean carpet on which to deposit his most recent hairball. I also live with an exuberant golden retriever, Breeze, a rambunctious, bouncy, and eager dog that never has learned to keep all 4 feet on the ground or her tongue in and nose out of unwelcome places. She's quite lovable, if a bit enthusiastic. That's what I think, at least. My husband and the dog have a strained relationship. Part of it dates to the time I let the dog spend the night in the house because it was cold outside in Washington. The first night she was perfect, but the second night she chewed up a ballpoint pen, leaving a trail of blue ink all over the light beige carpet. But the tensions between my husband and my dog are deeper than that. Jerry didn't want the dog in the first place. He only relented after I appealed to his sense of fairness. Every child should have a dog. Lee had a dog. It's not right not to get one for Robert. Robert won't take care of it, my husband had sighed, but finally acquiesced. Jerry ended up taking care of the last dog, Lee's dog, a ditzy cocker spaniel named Fritzy, who was sweet but kind of stupid. While I was fond of her, I never really bonded in the way that you bond with a real dog, a large and intelligent one. Your dog gets in the cat litter. How intelligent is that? Jerry asks. Notice the pronoun, not our dog, as in the family pet, but your dog, as in all mine. Jerry used to laugh when the media described me as a control freak, or the person who controlled the White House message. Anyone who thinks she's in control ought to come meet our animals, he would say. Writing about the pets is oddly personal, and I realize that this story will involve the people close to me more than I initially understood or wanted. I'm going to have to write about you in my book, I informed my husband, in between commercials for ER, one of the few shows we watch on television. I didn't agree to that, he protests, ever the lawyer. You agreed I should write this book, I answer. I can't write a book about my life without writing about our family. It wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be honest. Jerry looks unconvinced. This is supposed to be a book about your political life, your life at the White House. No, remember, it's a book about a lot of things. How a normal person like me ended up working at the White House, what it was like. It's not a typical political gossip book, I sputter. This book is about life and family and faith, important things. And I can't write about what is important without writing about you and Robert and Lee and our family. You can mention us, but keep it brief, he replies. Tug of war. I still remember the moment I first said it out loud. My husband and I were standing at the sink in the kitchen of the beautiful house that wasn't ours, talking as we cleaned up the dinner dishes. Maybe we should just move back home this summer, I said. And the look of relief that immediately crossed his face confirmed what I had suspected, what my husband still denies but that all our friends believe, that he deeply missed Texas and was ready to go home. Why do you say that? He asked me cautiously, much more cautiously than in the usual after-dinner, after 18 years of marriage conversation. This was uncharted territory, and only I could venture there first. Robert's unhappy. I'm not even relevant in his life anymore. He misses his friends. We miss Lee and Lauren and all our friends. Everyone said it would take a year to adjust, but it's been more than a year, and I don't see signs that we're making any progress, I said.